Jimmy Uso wants to recruit his Jey Uso to help him and Roman Reigns against Solo Sikoa's bloodline ahead of WWE Survivor Series. However, former Raw Talk host Matt Camp suggested someone other than his twin brother would have to convince the Intercontinental Champion to reunite with the original bloodline. Jey had a falling out with Reigns and Jimmy last year, leading to him quitting the bloodline and SmackDown. The 39-year-old holds the Intercontinental Championship on Raw. Meanwhile, Jimmy recently returned after 6 months to reunite with the original tribal chief as they feud with the new bloodline. Last Friday on SmackDown, Big Jim told Reigns they needed help, asking Jey. Although the latter initially declined, Jimmy was at Raw and tried to talk to his twin brother. However, the latter refused to have a conversation with Jimmy. Speaking on the Wrestling Mat podcast, former WWE host Matt Camp proposed that multiple people should try to convince Jey to reunite with his twin brother and cousin. However, only Roman Reigns should succeed in that mission. Earlier this year, Jey Uso defeated his brother Jimmy at WrestleMania 40. In a recent interview with Jizzy's World, the Intercontinental Champion claimed the square-off was his favorite WWE moment. Meanwhile, the 39-year-old teased reconciling with his family, stating that the bloodline is gonna get it together. While Matt Camp believes Jey would be the third member of a potential original bloodline team at WWE Survivor Series, he suggested Sami Zayn would be the fourth. It would be interesting to see if that would happen. Former WWE host Peter Rosenberg recently made waves in the wrestling community with his bold claim: "There's only one man capable of convincing Jey Uso to rejoin Roman Reigns and the bloodline." According to Rosenberg, it's not his twin brother Jimmy Uso, but a surprising figure from the WWE past who could make the impossible happen. In a story that has already taken numerous twists and turns, Rosenberg's theory has ignited the imagination of fans. Who is this mystery man? And why does Rosenberg believe Jey would listen to him over his own family? Let's dive deep into the narrative, analyzing why Rosenberg believes this individual could be the key to the next chapter in the ongoing bloodline saga. To understand the weight of Rosenberg's comments, we need to look back at the story of the bloodline. This faction, built around Roman Reigns, has dominated WWE's narrative for the past few years. Roman Reigns, the self-proclaimed tribal chief, along with his cousins Jey and Jimmy Uso and his special counsel Paul Heyman, formed a formidable unit, presenting themselves as an indomitable force. Under Roman's leadership, the bloodline was not just about championship glory, it was about family, legacy, and dominance. But all of this began to fracture as Jey Uso started questioning his role. Jey had always been torn between loyalty to his family and the desire for independence. Over the last year, we saw Jey stand up to Roman, breaking away from the tribal chief's iron grip. Jey's departure from the bloodline was one of the most emotionally charged moments in recent WWE history, symbolizing the collapse of Roman's empire from within. Jimmy Uso's betrayal of Jey, siding with Roman at pivotal moments, added another layer of complexity. While Jimmy claimed he acted out of love for his brother, believing that Jey was better off away from Roman, it only deepened the wedge between them. Jimmy's attempts to bring Jey back to the family fold, or at least to reconcile with him, have been met with resistance. Jey has distanced himself not only from the bloodline, but also from Jimmy, seemingly ready to carve out his own path. So, why does Peter Rosenberg think Jimmy can't convince Jey to return to the bloodline? The answer lies in the complex relationship between twins. While brothers often share a unique bond, the pressure of constantly being seen as one entity can weigh heavily on individuals. Jimmy and Jey have been a tag team for the better part of their careers, often referred to as the Usos rather than by their individual names. This has led to an identity crisis, particularly for Jey, who has had to fight to prove that he is more than just Jimmy's twin. Rosenberg might be tapping into the idea that Jimmy, despite his best intentions, is too close to the situation. Jey doesn't want to feel like he's simply falling back into his old role as part of the Usos. Returning to the bloodline at Jimmy's behest would, in Jey's eyes, feel like a step backward, a return to being the lesser twin under Roman's shadow. What Jey craves is autonomy and the ability to make his own decisions, which is why Rosenberg believes Jimmy lacks the ability to truly reach Jey in this moment. Rosenberg's claim that only one man can convince Jey to return is where things get really interesting. While he didn't explicitly name this individual during the discussion, fans have begun to speculate about who it could be. One of the most intriguing possibilities is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The Rock is not only one of the most famous wrestlers in history, but also a member of the Inoue family, to which Roman, Jey, and Jimmy all belong. The Rock's role as a family elder figure, as well as his undeniable star power, could be the key to making Jey see reason. Imagine a scenario where The Rock returns to WWE not just for a brief cameo, but as a mediator in the ongoing Bloodline storyline. The Rock, being both outside of the immediate drama and yet deeply connected to the family, could speak to Jey in a way that Roman or Jimmy never could. He would have the respect and authority to guide Jey, offering a new perspective on the family dynamic. Perhaps The Rock could convince Jey that Roman's path, while flawed, is still the best way for the family to maintain their legacy. Alternatively, some fans have suggested that Rosenberg might have been referring to Paul Heyman. Heyman has long been a master manipulator and is known for his ability to persuade even the most stubborn of wrestlers. If anyone could weave a narrative compelling enough to bring Jey back into the fold, it's Heyman. He could frame Jey's return as a strategic move, positioning him as the true heir to Roman's empire, rather than just another soldier in the bloodline. At the heart of all this speculation is one question: does Jey Uso even want to return to the bloodline? Jey's journey has been one of self-discovery, of stepping out of his brother's shadow and out from under Roman's control. While the allure of family loyalty is strong, Jey has been burned too many times by those closest to him. Jimmy's betrayal, in particular, may have pushed Jey too far. For Jey to rejoin Roman and the bloodline, it would require not just a persuasive argument, but a complete change in how the faction operates. Jey would need to feel like he is coming back on his own terms, not as a subordinate to Roman or as part of a tag team with Jimmy. The Rock or Paul Heyman might be able to present Jey with a new vision for the bloodline, one where Jey's autonomy is respected and his contributions are valued.